Alien general slapped a human cadet. 3 seconds later, he was begging for mercy. The Intergalactic Military Academy's courtyard buzzed with tension as cadets from dozens of species watched the confrontation unfold. General Kethmore, a towering reptilian from the warrior planet Draxol, stood before the assembled recruits, his scales gleaming crimson in the artificial sunlight. "This is how we maintain discipline," he snarled, his forked tongue tasting the air for fear. For 3 decades, he had commanded respect through intimidation, breaking the spirit of countless young soldiers from across the galaxy. Today's target was different, though none of the observers realized it yet. Cadet Jackson Rivers stood at attention among the formation, his human frame appearing almost fragile next to the hulking alien warriors surrounding him. At barely 6 feet tall, he seemed insignificant compared to the 8-foot general, whose battle scars told stories of conquered worlds and crushed rebellions. "You?" General Kethmore pointed a clawed finger at Jackson. "Step forward, mammal." Jackson complied without hesitation, his expression calm and respectful. The other cadets, a mixture of Centaurians, vegan telepaths, and crystalline silicates, watched with barely concealed sympathy. They had all endured Kethmore's motivational techniques before. "Your species is weak," the general declared, circling Jackson like a predator. "Soft. Pathetic. You have no business in a military academy designed for true warriors." "Yes, sir," Jackson replied evenly. "Your homeworld couldn't even defend itself from its own inhabitants until recently," Kethmore continued, building to his inevitable crescendo. "What makes you think you belong among real soldiers?" The insult hung in the air like a challenge. Several alien cadets shifted uncomfortably, knowing what came next. General Kethmore's disciplinary methods were legendary and brutal. "Answer me, whelp!" The general's voice boomed across the courtyard. Jackson maintained his respectful posture. "Sir, I believe every species has something to contribute to the—" The slap came without warning. General Kethmore's massive hand struck Jackson across the face with enough force to send most beings sprawling. The sound echoed off the academy walls like a gunshot. But Jackson didn't fall. He didn't even step back. Instead, something extraordinary happened. His head turned slowly back to face the general, and when he spoke, his voice carried a quality that made every alien present suddenly remember why humans were called Deathworlders. "Sir," Jackson said quietly, a thin line of blood trickling from his split lip, "you just made a mistake." General Kethmore laughed, the sound harsh and grating. "What are you going to do about it, little—" He never finished the sentence. Jackson's hand moved with speed that defied the general's enhanced reflexes. Not to strike back, that would have been expected, even welcomed as justification for further punishment. Instead, Jackson did something far more terrifying. He caught the general's wrist as Kethmore raised his hand for another blow. The grip wasn't aggressive or violent. It was simply absolute, unbreakable. The kind of grasp that spoke of a species that had crawled up from the bottom of a planet-wide food chain through sheer, bloody-minded determination. "Sir," Jackson said conversationally, his fingers tightening just enough to make his point. "Where I come from, when someone hits you without cause, it means they want to fight. Really fight. To the death, usually." General Kethmore tried to pull away, but his arm wouldn't budge. For the first time in his military career, panic flickered in his reptilian eyes. Jackson continued, his voice never rising above a whisper that somehow carried to every corner of the courtyard. "Now, I'm sure that's not what you intended. Academy regulations and all. So I'm going to let go, you're going to step back, and we're going to pretend this was just a training exercise. Because the alternative—" Jackson's grip tightened slightly, and something in the general's wrist made a small, ominous cracking sound. is that I show everyone here exactly why my species survived long enough to reach the stars." The transformation was instantaneous. General Kethmore, conqueror of worlds and terror of recruits, began to hyperventilate. His free hand reached toward Jackson in a gesture of surrender. "Please," he whispered, the word torn from his throat. "Please, I didn't know. I didn't understand." Jackson released him immediately, stepping back to attention as if nothing had happened. "Of course, sir. No harm done." He smiled, the expression somehow more terrifying than any snarl. "Is there anything else you'd like to teach us today about discipline?" General Kethmore stumbled backward, cradling his wrist, his eyes wide with newfound respect and primal fear. Class dismissed," he managed. As the alien cadets dispersed, whispers spread through the academy like wildfire. The humans had arrived, and everything was about to change.